Hi there, Cancer, and welcome to your April forecast. It's really good to see everybody again. And a quick reminder that you can always use this for your sun, your rising, as well as your moon sign. You can also watch for someone in your life that you care about. And I like to also give you a quick rundown on how this is organized. Each and every month I begin with some channeled information, which I'll be getting into in just a second. And then I pull a full Celtic cross. During that, we'll take a look at all of the energies coming through for the month. And then I expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. If you enjoy what you see here, it's very much viewer supported, so please stick around until the end. I always give a closing message, and just before I do that, I will let you know how you can help me out. Whether that's joining me on social networks, joining me on Patreon, or if you'd like to book an appointment. I'll put a little bit of that information here now, but I know that you all came here for your forecast, so why don't we get straight into that. Each and every month, I select a deck of cards and then I meditate over that for each sign. As I do this, I receive information, typically an image, a word, or some other sort of intuitive download. For your sign this month, I saw somebody planting seeds or working the soil. The other thing that I saw was possibly taking like clay or earthen material and creating something, kind of like you would in pottery. So I captured this in automatic writing and wrote down the following three words. First of all, the obvious act of creation. But it's a slow sort of building creation that comes through sowing and planting ideas, and also kind of really the word that I didn't capture here that I see now as we're talking is that this is sort of a renaissance of your energy and your opportunities. So if there was something in the past that it frustrated you because you never had a chance to finish it or put a sort of proper closure to it, this is the month to do that. And then once you've let that go, to create space and also the initial sort of action to allow for the birth or genesis of something new. You may not see all of the rewards and positive energy that's going to come from what you do this month, but it will absolutely set you up for success over the next 2 to 3 quarters of the year. Think of it almost as, again, if you planted a seed in the soil. I love gardening. You probably see that if you follow me on Instagram. Sometimes when I'm propagating plants or planting seeds, it takes weeks, it takes months, it can take up to a year to sometimes see the flower that you're waiting for. And I learn patience through gardening. I may not be patient in everything, but I am very patient when I'm working with plants. I want you this month to be patient with whatever your dream, your idea, or your creative endeavor is. And if you don't have one, I want you to try to attach to that this month. I think it'll be very beneficial for your sign. And again, I think overall, you could just sort of take stock of your life and decide what it is you want to see some progress in this year. And the action begins this month. And you'll start to see it over the next few quarters of the year, even up to 9 months from now. So a very exciting energy at your disposal this month. And I'd like to look now at the cards to see what additional messages they have for you. All right, at this point, I like to remain quiet. I'm going to go ahead and pull a full Celtic cross. We'll take a look at all of the cards, and I'll also put a catalyst card with this. After I do that, I'm going to pull each card up so you can see it, and then we'll talk about it. But I like to remain quiet so I can see the energy, the information, and also the arrangement of the cards, just like you. For those of you that enjoy reading and want to see this spread again, stick around until the very end. I review everything that I talk about, and so you'll get one more chance to look at the cross at the end. Okay. Your catalyst this month is the rabbit. For me, the rabbit symbolizes growth, fertility, and abundance. If we combine the rabbit card with the channeled information, which was the act of creating through both sowing and planting, and then sort of persistently keeping at something, even if it takes a while, this is showing that the eventual payoff is quite worth the wait. Rabbit, for me, also, again, when I'm talking about fertility, I think of it multiplying. And so whatever you're working on has the ability to sort of be like the Nine of Pentacles card, something that creates sustainable abundance and gives you some independence. So I'm really encouraging you to go after whatever it is you want. And also, for those of you that are feeling like you're in this sort of like desert of opportunity, or there's been this plateau and nothing's been happening, your vision in the future, this ability to project out what it's going to be, and then the perseverance working up to that, this is what's going to create the abundance, and you'll be so grateful that you didn't give up. So this is basically showing both the ideas of a renaissance and fertile abundance, and then also the idea of perseverance necessary, which we talked about earlier. Because I saw the rabbit, for those of you that are looking to get pregnant, this is actually showing that this is a good time to try, and if you're not, then be careful. All right, let's look at the other cards here one by one. Right at the center, we have the Four of Wands. It's reversed, but for me, this is always a good card. Great for partnerships, good for marriage, good for friendships. And so a lot of the energy towards the beginning of the month, and I would actually say even throughout it, since it was at the center, it's really going to be revolving around your role in these friendships, relationships, or partnerships. The card was reversed, which means that people in your life may be sort of calling upon you to show up. Maybe they need more than they normally do. Maybe they're holding you accountable for some contracts, agreements, or things that you said that you would do, and now it's time to sort of come through on that. Just make sure that this is a fair exchange, and if there's any place where people are taking too much or asking for too much, that you're kind of speaking up and making sure that there are proper limits, proper balance, and reciprocity overall. Now, the good news as I'm looking at this is I think a lot of these partnerships are going to come through for you, and vice versa. It's going to be very fruitful because we have the Eight of Wands, which shows opportunity, a lot of busy endeavors this month. And again, for those of you that have been feeling like you were bored or that you weren't getting the challenges that you needed, that's not going to be the case this month. And also, if you're a small business owner or you're just trying to find a way to sort of diversify things, I see a lot of work coming through for many of you. If you are seeking employment, this is a good month, but it is competitive because Eight of Wands shows a crowded room or a lot of people. If you're retired, this is showing that this is just a great time to meet up with people and do things, get active. All right, let's look at the deep past and see what's coming through for many of you. So when I'm looking at this card, the word that came to me, interestingly enough, was choices. You have the Three of Cups, which is usually a card of celebration, and basically being as active as you can with other people. It can be dating, sometimes more than one person, because this is not a card of necessarily of monogamy. Overall, it's showing a lot of people coming in and out of your life. The reversal of this card is showing that some of you may just be feeling fatigued by this. There just could be a lot of energy that's heavy, or that's, again, I saw that some people may be tugging at you a little bit, and you might be deciding, okay, I need a little bit of a break. And so for some of you that might go out often with friends, this could be a month where you decide to be a little bit of a hermit, not necessarily saying no to everything, but pulling back a little bit. Now, the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups, especially when they're both reversed, could also be showing that some of you are getting pickier. Maybe you're ready to settle down. Maybe you've met someone and you're closing the door on some of the other people that you were dating, because this reversal can kind of say enough is enough with that. So that's good. That means that you might have made up your mind that this is the person that you want to pursue a long-term relationship with. But no matter how you've kind of diced this up this month, what I'm looking at is a lot of people asking your time and this sort of desire to pull back a little bit. So honor what feels best to you. It's about choices. When you're with people, how do they make you feel? What are they trying to either give or get from you, and give you or get from you, I should say. And if it feels like it's something that's mutually beneficial, then go for it. Otherwise, it's okay to say no. It's okay to push back. Just don't go into a complete hermit phase, and that's what that's showing. There are a couple of other notes here. Your crowning card is one that I would normally associate with politics. We have the Hierophant, it's reversed. The Moon card is in the outcome as well. So when I'm looking at Three of Cups, Hierophant, and the Moon, I think it's really important to remove yourself from any situations where there is some sort of gossip going on, or unsubstantiated rumors, or negative speech. I mean, in general, it's a good thing, but particularly this month, the reason is with this political card in the crowning position, this could get back to the source. It could be violating some sort of a policy if you're, in a company with a strict HR conduct code or whatever, and you just want to be careful. Likewise with social media. You want to make sure that whatever you're posting is following proper procedures, not going to hurt someone, not going to hurt a brand, not going to violate some contract. So communications overall, something that you're going to have to keep a close eye on this month. And there you go. You have it now and you can be prepared. In the recent past, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. This is really reminding you of a lesson that hopefully you kind of learned last month, but if not, it could show itself again over the course of April. The lesson is that it's really important for you not to lose track of your own goals, ambitions, projects, and priorities this month. I say that because typically for me, the Queen or the King of Wands is a card that comes through to indicate a person that's in a position of power, is someone that people come to for advice, and is sort of like a go-to Mr. or Mrs. Fix-It card or person in real life. And this month, if you're good at that, there's no problem with it, but just make sure that you've checked off all of the items on your priorities, on your requirements list first, because you could unintentionally sort of get involved or embroiled in a bigger thing that takes you away from something you were supposed to do. And by trying to help someone, you could, again, it's not intentional, but you could end up missing a deadline or missing some sort of promise, and then you get angry at that person, even though you were the one that agreed to do it. So what I'm trying to kind of instill in you is do what you've agreed to do first, say no if you need to, push back if necessary, and know that it's good to help people, but not at the detriment of yourself. Now, if you happen to be sort of like a parent or a caretaker, or you're taking care of maybe an elderly parent, whatever, people are depending on you basically, then this is just a card that says mind your own physical and mental health first, then take care of those around you. That's something that sometimes gets lost, especially if you are a parent. You do anything for your children, or if you're some people that are workaholics, they do anything for the company. You just have to make sure that whoever or whatever is depending on you, that they understand your own health is important first. So lead by example and just take care of what needs to happen in your own life. All right, politics. We talked about this earlier. We have the Hierophant. It's all about structure, hierarchy, politics, predictability, and sometimes a conservative energy. With this in the crowning position, this means that, one, it's important to stay organized, but secondly, you may need to break free from this because it can feel very monotonous. It can feel very sort of constricting. And if that's all that you focus on, you could see sort of a dip in your productivity, your energy, or your enthusiasm. And that's not anything that anybody wants, really. So break things up a little bit. And so getting out of your work area sometimes. So if you have a laptop or some sort of a tablet computer and you're allowed to work maybe at a cafe or on a different floor, or you can take a team and go off-site, it's a good time to do that because your creativity is going to be positively affected by changes in environment. As a very sort of general and overarching card, this is saying don't limit yourself. Think outside of the box. Try things that put you in a place where you're not necessarily able to do it sort of on automatic pilot. This is when some magic can happen. This is when you really are truly feeling engaged. One simple message as I'm looking at the Five of Wands: don't give up. Also, don't be afraid because something immediately may not go the way that you want it to. Remember that in order for great things to happen this month, you have to sow, plant, wait, and continue to sort of nurture your project, your idea, your dream, your relationship, whatever it is that you want to see progress on. Because when we look at the ego, we have the Ace of Pentacles, which is showing all of that stuff that we just talked about. This is the ultimate card that's symbolic of growth. And it even sometimes it's a coin, but it can be an egg. It can be something that just shows that there is potential. And the ultimate energy this month is that of accessing this potential and hopefully capitalizing on the potential. Some of you may be thinking about moving. It's in the environment. You may already be in the process of moving or traveling. There also may be a lot of back and forth that's necessary. So we were talking about getting things done, and we were looking at sort of processes that you have to follow. This could be a lot of signatures, a lot of steps, a lot of approvals. Make sure that you're not missing something. This is about having a keen eye on details, and that's going to serve you well. I was also saying that it helps to sort of get away. Take a vacation, take a holiday, or take an off-site sort of trip with the team if you can. For those of you that are not working because you're retired, or because maybe you're still in school and you're on break or whatever is going on, this is also saying that it's a great time to see the world, to explore new things. Because if you are sort of only living to work, then it's very difficult for you to stay motivated. So work-life balance is going to be more important this month than ever, I think. As we look at hopes and fears, for some of you opportunities as well, we have this Hanged Man card here in reverse. Now, I actually like seeing this particular card in the reverse state because it typically shows that you're breaking free, you're breaking out of something. A cycle, a cocoon, a glass ceiling. And so as I sort of talked about at the beginning, this month is more of a renaissance or a genesis. It's a chance to kind of crack open that mold that you're living in. So just imagine that it's made of glass or clay and you're dropping it, and now you have this freedom this month. The outcome card is curious. We have the moon. So there are several things that I want to talk about with this. The first is that you have to find your own voice and take your own path. A lot of times this card can symbolize trying to take a side. It can also, for me, symbolize two different generational views or two different sides of the fence. There could be a third option which maybe blends the two or is completely different from everything that was imagined. This is when there could be an idea that you could patent if you're sort of an inventor or a business person. This could also be a chance to have this breakthrough in your life where you realize, oh my goodness, this is actually what I want to do. And so you have a chance this month to redefine things. And the moon card is encouraging you to go into the unknown. And that's really what the moon is. It's hopes, it's fears, and it's the unknown, going places where others either couldn't go because they lacked the imagination or were afraid to explore because maybe they feared what they would find or that they would possibly succeed and then have to try something a different way. Your strength, your opportunity exists within the moon card this month. It's trusting your intuition, trying something, even if it's not popular. And sometimes people miss that there's actually a road beyond these two dogs here, or like the wolf and the dog. So it's not actually about anything in front of you. It's about the horizon, moving past these old sort of ways of thinking and ways of doing something. So I see a lot of unexplored possibility and potential, and I would also say like unconventional thinking. This is where you can really find your voice, your power, and that should be fun. I look forward to seeing how some of you take advantage of that. One last note for fertility. This can also be a card showing, especially when we combine it with a reversed hangman, that some of you might be finding that it's easier to conceive or to create this month. And that really was the channeled message. So it doesn't have to just be a baby. It can be a project, an idea, or some sort of a change or shift within your life. Let's go ahead now and expand the forecast. We'll look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. All right, let's take a look now at your health card and see what the message is this month for mind, body, and spirit. The message this month is a reminder that you are not alone. It's okay to open up. It's okay to share. Share the load, share your feelings, or simply to sort of ask for help. We saw at the center that a lot of people could be coming through this month and saying, I need you, or you said you were going to help me with this. I also see that you may have a tendency to take on a lot of responsibility or to shoulder a lot of the load. By finding a way to break these cycles, you're allowed to move on to the path ahead and to embrace your own sort of creativity. It really gets you past potentially one of the blocks that you've been working on over the past few months. Let's go ahead now and take a look at your wealth card, knowing that wealth isn't just money, but also how you attract opportunities in your life. And then once they come to you, what happens with them. So we'll give the cards a good shuffle and see what your message is. So we have immunity this month. From the perspective of money and particularly investments, immunity is encouraging you to pick a conservative path there. I know that I said for your own sort of development and for other opportunities on the horizon, you want to think outside of the box. But this card is reminding you to protect your assets wherever possible. So anything that you've already earned anything that you want to have for the future, for retirement, for your children, for whatever. This sort of stuff you want to keep in a very secure space. You can be inventive, you can have all these ideas for future business endeavors, but for past investments and any sort of cash that you need for the future, that part you want to make sure that it's secure. This could indicate volatility in some of the investments that you currently have. It could also just be encouraging you to save for a rainy day. Whatever the case is for you, just remember that you need to have a little bit extra for the future, and that this is going to be something that will go a long way in respect to planning and being able to take care of yourself in the long run. The other thing is when we're looking at sort of legal opportunities, if there's contracts that need reviewing or anything that you're going to agree to sign or to do, that you absolutely feel comfortable with it. And basically that you are making sure that you are protected and or immune from any sort of risk or any sort of outside influences that could somehow come between you and your assets. All right, let's go ahead now and take a look at love. Just a reminder that love is not just romantic relationships, but also friendships and any familial relationships in your life. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. Your message this month is to not second guess yourself. We have an instinct card that was in reverse. And if you notice the illustration on this, you see like a two-faced animal, a two-faced wolf here in the background. And what I'm seeing here is that some of you may have a really wonderful ability to kind of read a room, read a situation or face of a person, and you may sense that under the surface there is something that needs to come out. There's a second sort of meaning, or again, you might be able to go into places or into sort of certain conversations that other people couldn't. Take that leap this month. Trust your instinct. It's spot on. The people that you can and can't trust, they're going to reveal themselves pretty quickly to you. And even if they try to put on a false face, you're going to be able to see past that facade. And that's really what this card is showing. So even if something looks good on paper, even if someone's reputation is really positive, if you don't gel with that person in your life, trust that first and foremost. And then move on if you need to, because you don't have to repeat the past here. That was something that we talked about quite a bit earlier, and I think it's especially true with relationships. All right. We're going to move along now to your destiny card. For me, destiny is an indicator of where you're headed. It's not set in stone. In fact, it's a chance to exercise free will and think of it sort of as a GPS. So let's see if you like the path in which you're headed. And if you don't, then you can shift it around. And this message will help you do just that. So we have Sacred Fool here. And the card was reversed, but I'm going to pull this upright so we can see it. For me, it doesn't matter what the illustration is, we still have the energy of the Fool, which is to explore, which is to try something new. Interesting that this particular Fool is seated and that the card was reversed. I think it also kind of goes with this celebratory energy of the Three of Cups. This means that for some of you, you need to, at the end of the month especially, force yourself to get back out into the public eye. And so I think it's completely okay, especially if you've been asked to do a lot of work and sort of public outreach or a lot of FaceTime with people that you didn't want to deal with, and you want to sort of hibernate for a little bit in the middle of the month. Honor that. But towards the end of the month, there's going to be some important opportunities that require you to get back out, and you might miss something if you don't do that. The other thing with the Sacred Fool card in reverse is to not take yourself so seriously. I don't see a lot of jovial cards this month. I see a lot of serious cards, one that shows like a significant amount of work, a lot of conservative energy, a lot of management, a lot of projects in flight. All of this is work, work, work. Even this, it's work. So lighten up your energy, lighten up your mood, and by doing so, you're going to, again, increase productivity and just be happier. I didn't get a lot of cups. Let me look here. Besides the Three of Cups in the distant past here, there's not a lot going on here that provides you that sense of... So I want you to break things up a little bit and towards the end of the month, get back out, have fun, do something for yourself, whether it's that trip that we talked about earlier or it's some other activity just for you. Do it, have fun, and don't take yourself so seriously, and that's going to go a long, long way. All right, let's review everything that we talked about because it was quite a lot. And at the end, stick around. I always give some sign-specific information as well, so there'll be one last message before we sign off here. All right, your channeled information this month was that image that I saw of planting a seed or sowing something. And it really ties in nicely to the Ace card that we have here, the Ace of Pentacles in the Ego. This is a month to do something for yourself, to develop and to grow, and know that this is going to be very fertile, very fortuitous, something that you're going to love, but it's going to take some time. It could take up to 9 months. So you really may not see this until the end of the year, but that shouldn't dissuade you from continuing to work towards the goals at hand. So I know there's a lot of cards here. I'm going to do my best so that you can see all of them. Right at the center, we talked about the relationship energy of the Four of Wands. It's really positive no matter what, but there definitely is more taking from others this month than giving back to you. So don't be afraid to ask for what you need. You're very busy. We have the Eight of Wands and also the Five of Wands here. And there's an encouragement with the Ten of Wands to let go a little bit. Don't shoulder all of this weight yourself. Know that there are other people around you that are willing and able to help. There's an energy of needing to pull back towards the beginning of the month, perhaps because of all that's been going on. That's okay. We talked about being careful about what you say because we have the Three of Cups, the Hierophant, and the Moon, all showing that what you say can get back to the source. Queen of Wands, focus on your tasks, your needs, your goals, and don't give so much to others that you forget to do just that. And if you're a caretaker, make sure your health is being taken care of this month. You may not always be getting the feedback that you need, but know that the work that you're doing is valuable, and it's very much getting you closer to your goals, others' goals, and for some of you, a long-term opportunity that's going to really pay off. So this isn't a month to sort of give up, in other words. And that was the other message of the rabbit. Don't get scared off. Don't sort of let something go just because it feels uncomfortable or it makes you nervous. Stick with that energy. We were talking a little bit about getting off-site or separating yourself from a sort of monotonous schedule. Still very important to honor that this month. Know that if any of you have been feeling stuck, either stuck in trying to make something happen, whether it's a project or even starting a family, there's movement in that area this month as well. As we look at your expanded forecast, it's okay to speak up, to ask for help, to talk, to open up emotionally, creatively. This is when you don't want to be the hermit. Because if you do, this energy that you've been carrying around can then kind of fixate in a certain part of your body. So stretch, great time for yoga or Pilates or just sort of like working out at the gym and making sure that you're focusing on stretching and strengthening more than anything. Protect yourself when it comes to existing investments. It's okay to take risks with future projects, but with the money that's going to be there for retirement for you, for your family, for whoever in your life you care about, that needs to be locked up into something that's safe. Trust yourself. You're going to be able to read people, situations, and a room better than you think this month. You'll be able to see past any sort of facades or ulterior motives. Finally, and most importantly, don't take yourself so seriously. Do some things that create a sense of levity, of an enjoyment, and spark your own dreams and ambitions, because it's that creative energy, that irreverent energy that really allows you to have what it takes to continue to work for everything that you care about in your life. So I hope that you found that this video was helpful, but if you ever feel like there's something that you need more assistance with in your life, whether it's a big question about your job or a relationship or whatever else happens, we all know that life kind of throws us a curveball from time to time. If that happens, I'm happy to help you. And the way that you can reach out to me is to look at the first card in the video or the first link beneath the video. And that's a way to check out my rates and availability. So if you need me, click on that. And if it makes sense, I'm here for you. Otherwise, if you just like to say thank you because you enjoyed everything that you saw here, a great way to give back and to kind of even up the energy exchange is to join me on Patreon or to do a donation through my website. So card number 2 and the second link below the video is a way to do just that. The third way, and this is really easy, just takes a click or two, is to join me on social media. If you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe here, of course. And also, if you like what you see, share it on your social media, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. I'm on all of those as well. Feel free to share across those networks, because for me, word of mouth is powerful. It's really appreciated. And if you follow me from month to month, you know that my whole purpose here is to try to just like these candles in the background, I like to bring more light on the planet. And by you sort of passing the light, you're helping spread that and spread that message and spread that light. So please do that if it resonates, and know that it means a lot to me. Any of these 3 methods makes a big difference in the overall health and happiness of this channel, so thank you in advance. As promised, I really like to bring something into focus that's unique to each sign this month. You're a very expressive sign, so I think that one thing that is important for you is to have this feeling of expression this month. It came in health, but I do think that it kind of spreads to everything. I don't want you to have fear this month, because we do have the moon card, and sometimes this comes through when you're afraid to go after something. It could be something you really like. It could be something you know you have to work on. When you ask for help, when you open up about that fear, when you embrace whatever it is that's sort of out there and you know that you want to do it, but you're kind of afraid to go there, then you're no longer beholden to anything. Once you've overcome that, you can start to have fun in your life again. And I really think that's the opportunity. Yeah, there's a lot of positive work that can be done this month, but there's a lot of people around you that are in your court that want to help you, myself included. And I hope that this video helped do that. I hope you know you have a champion here and in your friends, and we all want you to do well. So take care of yourselves. Go after what you truly love, and know that if you really sow and create that seed, that the future is bright. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey here on this planet. I know you have a lot of choices here on YouTube and in real life, but I appreciate the last half hour or so, and I hope that it made a difference. Much love and light to you now and always. I'll see you again next month.